Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Smart Poker YouTube channel and another episode of Sundazed and Confused. Today's number 94, and we're glad to have you here on a beautiful Sunday. As always, my wife is here with me, and I got a blunt split open. I'm about to roll up.
Cheers, everybody. Happy Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Let's get our smoke on.
I'm ready to get my smoke on. I hope everyone else is too. There's the link.
I been running around getting coffee. I feel like I just got up late is all, and I'm still trying to catch up. But hope everybody's having a wonderful.
Looks like our buddy Icini is going to be joining us here.
Which is awesome. Always good to have Icini on over. And it's also awesome to see Claude, Artman, Anova, Jack Lawrence, Seed Person 1, Collective Marriage, Zorro PB, Old School, Lorianne, how you doing, girl? Weed Nerd DWC. It's good to have all our friends in chat. And awesome to see you, Artman and Icini. I said, oh!
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, cheers.
Hey, Arsenal.
Hey, what's up, man?
All good, all good.
Is that smoke or steam, Art, man?
Oh, that's steam.
Oh,
It's
okay.
44% relative humidity. My new seedling don't like it.
Yeah, ours are doing a little bit dry too. I took the lid on, it was too moist. I took it off, it was too dry. I've kind of been bouncing around. One's looking a little sad in there. I don't know what's going on. We'll have to poke our heads in there and see what's up. Yeah, it's cold and dry, huh?
It's getting there. Pretty nice out today. Sun feels real good though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a sunny day out there. It's still chill, kind of chilly for me, but yeah,
The cold and dry is coming,
cold
man.
and dry is coming.
It
But
kind of dries your face out just being outside.
your clones look really awesome,
Yeah, let's put them up.
by the way.
Oh, they're crazy. Well, they're about 3 inches since Wednesday, I think.
Nice.
Fast. It's crazy. So I think my schedule might actually be on target because I got a week till I cut on Saturday. So probably move them in on Sunday. They should be another 3 or 4 inches taller.
Right on.
It's awesome.
You thought you'd missed your target or cut one
Yeah.
you would have used.
Yeah, it's a little cold. I thought maybe the temperature would. I
Ah,
pulled one of these out. Showed everybody on the myth. Got the fish bones.
Oh,
Wow,
yeah.
that's beautiful. That
Yeah.
is so
Fishy bone.
cool.
And they look healthy.
Oh yeah.
And that one, man, the stalk on this one is just fat as hell.
The
Good,
old
going
seedling,
good.
though, it's just dragging ass, huh?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say that. It just I don't know if it's enjoying it or
Compared to the other ones, it is, I should say.
it's only been in here a couple days, so
Oh, okay.
maybe three or 4 days. So
You're all right. I don't know why I was thinking it's been like 2 weeks.
I don't know. Well, I do. I don't know. It seems like the clones just go better in this than the seedlings, but that's okay.
It'll catch up.
Yep. Doing good, actually. That would be Nakatomi Plaza crossed with Pineapple Chunk.
Nakatomi Plaza crossed with pineapple chunk. That sounds
That's weird.
pretty good, tasty.
The pineapple. I don't think I ever had any pineapples.
I just want to say real quick, hello to Seed Person. I see Seed Person has joined. Hello and happy Sundays.
Hello. How's everybody doing?
Howdy.
Can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. Got the good earbud in. Yeah. Sorry, don't let me interrupt though.
No, it's all good.
It's good to have you.
The
And yeah, there's
pineapple.
pineapple. The pineapple terps.
Never had one.
No, but I like fruity. I like the citrus. That Ghost Train Haze seemed like a little citrusy. I'm curious, like if you'll get any type of that kind of smells or terpene profiles on that.
A couple of my friends are also have this over at Percy's grow room, and they're just popping their beans too. So it should be interesting to see what kind of phenoms we get.
Oh yeah, it's always
Oh,
fun to try new stuff out too that you haven't had before.
I'm ready to smoke me.
Yeah, I'm ready to smoke a blunt too. I feel like it's been a minute. Although I'd like to say that I pulled out some of my roaches from our roaches way from the day, and me and Smart have been trying some out, and Smart was lucky enough to pull one out that had some a snake in the grass.
Yeah, it started stopping and fizzling.
Yum.
The hell's on the end of my roach? And then I could taste it a little bit, and I'm like, oh man. So kept on going with it, and I smoked like another one after that. But when I was done with those two, I was totally blown. My eyes were rolled up, thinking, "Damn, man, that was a nice surprise." Here, let's put Iceni up there. Can you get it?
Yeah, I'll grab it. I'm
Deep
not
candy.
I'm not as quick with the stuff as Smart.
I want to
but
see them nodes.
the deep candy that does look pretty. That
Yeah, it's quite.
CBD.
It's still a little bit green. I've only just now brought it out of the veg tent. I washed it up and cleaned it up yesterday. Brought it in the flower room. So it's had one day on flower room, but yeah, these are the branches, the three nodes that are coming off. I'll go around. There's another one, and I'll go around again.
Looks healthy.
Oh
Looks like
yeah.
it's doing good. CBD though, right?
Yeah, it's totally CBD. I don't, there might be a point or two or something or other of THC, but relatively,
great.
it's just going to be plain, straight up
That is
CBD.
great.
First time growing that. Oh, and yeah, here's the rest of the room
Hey,
back on track.
I was just gonna say, have you been seeing any negative bugs?
No, well, yeah, I have actually. A couple of days ago, well, I see a thrip. So I went and sprayed again of which I started at the weakest sprays and I've progressed up.
Right.
So I sprayed them with spinal sag yesterday. So that's drawn a line under it. It's probably going to take out a lot of my good bugs as well. But you
Well, they
do
look
what you
healthy
got
and
to do.
happy.
Yeah, even if I do get the odd thrips come back, it's gonna, the spinal sag should give me a little bit of a rest break from anything anyway, because it's got a little bit of a lasting effect. There's
It's
no
strong.
buds
It's
like
pretty strong stuff, and I've heard of it, but I've never used it. That seems like somebody said that was really good stuff for killing everything.
yeah, it's. I think it might actually be banned in my country due to the effect on pollinators and stuff. So they don't want people spraying it outside. But in this sort of situation, I got a real problem of using it. I've not got buds on here, so that isn't what I sprayed isn't getting smoked. I'm not gonna keep any of this leaf material or any, do any washing or anything with it. None of this. So yeah, I'll give it a proper clean down because even though they say it breaks down naturally under the light and everything, and I'm going to err on the side of caution and give them another wash before they start setting buds. But I reckon I've got about another week before the actual. I don't mind washing them down with soapy water right up till about 2 weeks into flower. So. That's my plan of action. But should we have a quick look?
They look
And yeah,
fabulous.
I sort of lost a little bit of track of what's what. I think this might be a blueberry muffin from Agnes, and possibly this one as well. These I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in here. I think these 4 over here that remain short, and these are just these are looking like they're going to be quite a bit of work because these are just sort of like, if you look at them, they've just got bushy little stuff all the way. And it's the remaining shot, I don't know whether I've stunted. You know, sort of, you can see it's going to want to start throwing some bud sites. There's no coming. This is a Bubblicious from Nirvana Seeds. This one here as well, that's another Bubblicious, and the one up behind it is another Bubblicious as well. So through the center here, they're all Bubblicious. These ones are all the Kong's Crush. These are from Greenhouse C Company. This one here, I'm quite liking the structure of this one. Is got to come back a bit.
Fine.
It's now starting to show what it's going to do. I still might even have a couple of males kicking around in here. All these ones up the side here, I'm sort of having to check every day because none of these are fems, these are all regs, and these are the ones that the tray that I dropped. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I 5. I think I kicked out a couple of males out of them yesterday. They weren't anything special, and I'm really looking for a male in the platinum asset because I'm really digging that at the minute. I want to do some seed making with that platinum asset. And here we go. Is I think is the best looking plant in the room. This is another Kong's Crush from Greenhouse Seeds again, but this is this looks like it's going to be a chunky beast.
That's cool to see, to know that you have a favorite in your garden, because Smart and I always do that. Like, he'll have his favorite, I'll have mine that I think that is like my, just the way it looks and smells. And
yeah, I normally just base mine on the vigor. You know, this one stands. I've had to, everything's been bent down on it. All these tops, because that would be up here,
yeah,
above everything else. But that's pretty much what I base it on, is the vigor and the bud set.
yeah,
When I can get what I like is when you're going up that main stem and every pair of nugs fits in the palm of your hand nicely. That's what I'm aiming for. Is palm size nugs.
yeah, yeah. Hell yeah, I can dig that. That's what we all want.
And here's the new light. It's only on one at the moment because whilst I'm in here, it's a little bit bright if I turn it up.
Nice to have a new one, huh?
You what, mate?
Nice to have a new light. Your other one was just fine, though.
The other one was fine. You know, I'm just gonna have this space here now, which I'm now gonna set the new light up and expand outwards. And I'll quickly show you what I've got to come in.
Oh, man, let me
What's next on the agenda? And that's a platinum asset. It's a strawberry. We've got aliens. Got another strawberry. So I like them strawberries. That's been that and the Pulp Friction have been my favourite smokes of this year. There's another strawberry. We've got another. This is an aliens. Another strawberry. King's Tart. Looks like it's got some nice little wide leaf going on there. Can you remember the purple one that you were like, oh, that looks amazing. It looks like the banana.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, I'll just turn that fan off.
So you got another one going. Hey, I'm curious of that Pulp Fiction. What's the lineage on that?
Off the top of my head, I couldn't honestly tell. I think that might have lemon tree in it. I might be wrong. I might be thinking of something else. There's another platinum asset. got here. Oh, this is Salago the Bat from Fumador. This is an F3. This is one of my seeds. So obviously I took a pack of his seeds and I had one of them late nanas, and I got a handful of seeds out of that. So this is Salago the Bat F2 and Platinum Asset again. And yeah, everything in here is looking quite healthy. I got loads of the sachets, bugs on patrol.
I see that.
That's
One
good.
It's
On
like
top
a-
of
Well,
it.
this is where my problems normally arise, because I've always been everything gets, when I bring it out of there and take it into the next room, I take it into my bath. I go stick it in the bath first and wash it right down. And so I generally, I'm a little bit slack in here, and sometimes I'm like, yeah, there's spider mites in there, and I know I'm just not doing anything about it. But yeah, I've took affirmative action this time. I've cleaned the
It's like
tent out.
a biocontrol motel in there that are stacked up.
Yeah, there's I've got Swirsky and the Sony's, and I've got the Priscillus as well.
Hey, if you thought any more on your UV light as
IPM.
yeah.
Yeah,
Did you
I'm
make any
still
headway?
excited about it. You know, I've got UV board anyway, but which I'm gonna think about just sticking it in. Well, I would have done anyway, because I like a bit of UV, even regardless of Bruce Bugby saying it doesn't actually do anything. I beg to differ. I look at my plants and I can see that does do something. Whether it reduces the THC and it gives more terpenoids, flavonoids, anthocyanins. These are all good things what we want anyway. So I'm a little bit cool with a trade-off for THC for an increase in the other stuff, because I consume it full spectrum anyway. So
We were looking into some of the UV after the show, and I was thinking about it, and it's one question that we had talked about. I figured I'd bring it up, was that it was the nanometer of, I think, 190 to 240, which is what UVA, which is very, very dangerous. It's that's the one that makes ozone and
UVC.
or UVC. Yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you, Art Man. And the way it does it, man, is it's such a small wavelength and it's moving so fast and it has so much energy that it actually breaks oxygen in half. And then somehow it hydrolyzes, or hydrolysis happens, and then it bonds back up. After the valence band is broke, it said it bonds back up and makes an extra atom on there, and that's O3, which can really make people sick. I'm like, damn, this shit is so dangerous now. And not to what you're talking about, I'm talking about the way down in the high 100, 200. That shit's so dangerous, man, that it breaks oxygen. I mean,
yeah, you normally them sort of things have to be they normally have them in closed boxes.
Yes.
With little windows for
Right.
and everything else. But the wavelength that they were talking about, or what I've done a little bit of further reading into, is 222, and they're saying this particular wavelength doesn't possibly hurt humans' eyes and skin, or it doesn't really affect us, but it has a profound impact on the bugs. But if you go sort of like a few nanometers either side of the wavelength, it's not as effective, and it could be quite dangerous.
Isn't that wild? How it's that like black and white, if you will, pun intended, I guess.
Yeah. Like Thunder Dan gave some good advice. Yeah, just get educated about it. You know what you're doing, and
There was
be safe out there, right?
You guys can look this up, man. There was recently a festival somewhere, and I was thinking it was like Bermuda or something.
Oh, I can't remember the location, but I was like shocked to hear this.
It was like it was in Bermuda, man. So they had this. I don't know exact exactly what the venue was, but it was like a
It was like a
concert. They were at a concert,
yeah,
yeah, and
or
they,
with a light
they had
show.
this big light display there, and some of the bulbs had UV2 something nanometer put in them, the diodes or whatever. Look at Kitty's gonna get us. She's in
I'm
the.
grabbing it. I'm on it. I'm on it, Smart. Here.
I didn't know. I shut the door with her in there. That's a little weasel. But anyhow, this is a cool story. Well, it's a horrible story, but it just goes to show. So somebody was setting this light display up and they plugged in UV lights for some of them, which weren't supposed to be this, but they were like UV 20 or 240 nanometers. Well, these people were at this party for like 8 hours and left and went home, and dozens of people had their retinas burned and shit, man. And they didn't know it while they were hanging out there. And here somebody made a mistake when they got and ordered the lights and put it all together that they had. I guess you can Google it. It should be in like the news or some shit. But that was blowing me away. I guess they're all going to be okay. But
yeah, they got like they all healed, I guess, from when I heard the story. I was like, what? That's crazy because you don't realize
yeah, it has to be
they-
Kind of an art
40
burn, huh?
nanometers to create ozone.
They were probably thinking it was UVA, the stuff that makes all the glow in the dark stuff.
Yeah, yeah. The UVA, they put the wrong ones in there. I keep saying UVC, whatever, but I know they're bad. All them UVs, the deeper you get, the worse they are. And that's sad for them people. They had flash burns, man. That's what they would have, like welding flash burn all over their face and shit.
Art guy. I used to do a little bit of welding when I was younger. Yeah, it's called Art Guy. I was one of those slack welders where I'd start the weld first and then just shut my eyes.
Yep.
Oh.
We always.
Yeah, I had welding every year in my apprenticeship, 6 weeks of it. I hated that shit, but I got pretty good at it.
We'd always tack weld shit without the mask, you just close your eyes, kind of look away a little bit, get it all tacked up, and get ready to put it. And by the time you're done putting a dozen tacks down, your whole side of your face looks like you just went skiing for 8 hours, and you got wind burned on the side of your face. UV.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
stay safe out there. So you
But
can party on.
So you can party. Hey, I'm glad to see those plants are not suffering any more pest pressure at the moment, and that you're ahead of it. And because I know that had your heart heavy a little bit there for a minute, and it's good to see you back on this side of that.
Yeah, the last time, or the only thing that's really bothering me is that I'm having to buy weed in because I didn't produce enough.
Oh,
That's my main concern is, cost of living nowadays is bad enough as it is.
Yep.
when I'm having I'm having a shit harvest and the cost of everything. Yeah, I really felt it, and I'm like, 2 in a row is gonna really bother me. I've tried to do everything I can. I need to pull a bit of stuff out so I can stop spending money.
Oh, I hear you.
That I haven't got.
Well, I'm glad you're back on track. That's a good thing for sure, because cost is a big concern too. I don't want to have to buy weed. So when our grows, when you get down in jars, and that can be a crappy position to be in.
Yeah, it's costing me roughly $200 a week.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Check you out, man. Those buds look beautiful.
Yeah, I'll be glad to see him too. I got 1 week to go.
Oh, you're right at that.
I needed it too.
Yeah, it's nice to get there. Ice and I, when you're in this position, when you got those buds coming in, that's going to be so sweet. Like Christmas morning when you were 12 years old, or, that kind of good feeling when you've had to take a break or slow down or whatever, buy it. It's just that is a hurt piece. I don't like to hear anybody going through that struggle, and I think about Tao and how he's moved from one state to another, and just that move can drag on the stresses of it. And you know, my heart goes out to the people that
Well,
are.
if everything was plain sailing, life would be boring, wouldn't it? You know, I
Yeah,
look
you're
at
right. You're
the
absolutely right.
I can use a little boring right now.
you
Tired of excitement. And my spirit.
know, but life keeps us on our toes, and you know, sometimes you feel alive. You know, it makes you feel, when you're battling, and you know, you actually feel like, yeah, it's hard work, but it's worth doing. Yeah, it's I, I take these bad times and hard times, and it's just character building. You know, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and all that.
You know, Nico D, I don't fucking appreciate that.
Oh,
You got to come here and call people idiots and shit, and it's not very cool. We've been trying to talk to you without saying it over the loudspeaker for a while now, and you want to come and call people idiots and shit. We're all friends. We're just talking here. Nobody's saying anything is absolute.
you know,
I'm starting to get upset
okay,
with this
Smart,
dude, man.
don't get upset because this person does it everywhere. He just needs, and if I'm assuming your gender, you're being a douche and a dick. But
I don't
you
want to
know,
block anybody. Just hang out and be
be
cool. No,
cool.
yeah.
You know, just be cool. There's no need. There's no place to be mean, and you know, you shouldn't get all wound up about people like that, man. There's a lot of hate in this world. We don't need any more of it. Let's enjoy these beautiful buds before our eyes. Art, man, you were doing such a
If I'm
fabulous
hanging out
job.
somewhere, I'm calling
You
people
got-
idiots, then I'm leaving that. So he's, you know. Oh, sorry, Art, man. Go ahead. I love your buds, man. They look good.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's okay. I'm good.
maybe this ain't the right place for you.
Everything ain't
Geek.
for everybody, man. Everything ain't for
We
everybody.
like to be nice, and I know it's like you can have bad days and even bad weeks, but man, try not to spread that around the other people.
This ain't the
And such
place.
those good vibes.
This ain't the place, and I ain't the dude. Just please don't do it. Hang out and be fucking cool.
I'll go
Art,
fetch
man, I'm
somebody.
sorry, dude. Go. Let's go.
It's all right.
Just a little bit.
Need
Hey,
to fire up one right now.
you got your fan bolted down over there to plywood to give it a big footprint. That's a grand idea.
What's that? Oh, yeah, it was hanging from the ceiling too. So
I like that idea. Mine always wants to tilt, like from the, it gets loose in the pivot point there, and so I was in there wiring the one to the bar, so it didn't move at all. So I know what you mean. Sometimes I don't want them to move, you know.
right on. I just screwed it to the board with nylon strapping. Garage sale stuff, man.
Hey, I gotta say something real quick. I see decoy bacon in the chat, and I learned today, or I learned recently. I heard, and it was on the Caribou Heart playing in the background. Smuts listen to the Caribou Heart show, and I got the meaning behind it, and it's just so genius. I love that name for one. I love bacon, and boy, it does cover up some weed smell, man. If you got a joint burning and you got someone knocking at the door, throw bacon in a pan, that's what they're gonna smell.
That's
Is that bacon frying? They're gonna be like, "Oh, you're making some bacon. Let's have some bacon." They're never gonna say anything about your weed. And I'm like, hell yeah.
Decoy. I always wondered what it meant too, and I never thought twice about it. Really, I just figured like that's an odd grouping of words, but whatever, right? And then when I heard the explanation, I'm thinking, oh shit, that makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah.
He's a top bloke as well. You know, he reached out to me privately one day, and I respect that. You know, Decoy Bacon's top gentleman.
Yeah, Decoy Bacon's been around a long time. You know, a lot of these names. There's 50 people here, and I would bet at least 90% of them we've all seen for the last how many years.
Oh, I've seen some of these guys for like, yeah, exactly. Many years. Met you over at the Cheap Home Grow show or at Cocoa for Cannabis.
Hey,
some of those other places that it's just so cool that after all these years we're all friends, and we got a lot of love here for everyone, including if you're having a bad day and you're being whatever, but you're allowed to have those bad days, but Why not be nice here and just leave that all at the door? We're at a party, right? We're here at a party, looking at plants, checking out cool gardens,
I'm
smoking some weed, checking out all these cool little these plants that are gonna turn into huge buds, nice big giant buds. And
I didn't know if Artman was done with his
What's that?
you shut your camera off, man?
No, I'm still up.
You didn't turn it,
You can't-
turn it off and back on?
You can't see. No, my camera says it's on.
You're
I got
good.
a picture here.
You're good. I see your clone station.
that's pretty cool. I love that little cloner.
It is badass, man.
More roots. Whoops.
I saw pictures. Were those the ones you had posted on the Instagram?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty. Those are
is.
awesome. Those roots. Roots.
But they are a rooty deal.
Dude, this blunt got me high as hell, man.
I'm trying to get all the cool links out there. If there's a link that you want to share and get everybody to follow you and support you. If you want me to do that, just get a hold of me on the side. Maybe you don't want to be the Sharon type. I'll do it for you. I don't mind spamming chat with all these awesome
I'm sorry.
links, you know.
I'm sorry I cussed at that dude. Nobody wants to be singled out like that. I shouldn't have did that.
No,
I
that's why you gotta be
apologize.
cool.
I got
Sometimes you gotta take control, man.
I got upset.
You can't let people just run amok.
No, I should have handled it different sometimes, but it's what it is. I apologize to that dude, Nico.
Yeah, and I offer up many.
Hey,
better
those
love
roots
and
did look
hugs.
good in them rock wolves. I got to get some of those. That's something I never tried in was the rock wolves.
I like
It
it.
reminds me
Now,
of
if I
going
were,
up in the loft and getting that insulation, it just looks itchy to me.
well, it is mineral.
Yeah.
It's mineralized. It is. It's fun mineral. So it is.
Yeah, they use
A
that.
lot like fiberglass.
They use it for like different versions, I think, for like fire insulation and all kind of shit. You know, like really fire.
Absolutely, it is. It does not burn. That's for sure.
It's a glass.
And if I was using more, I'd probably choose something biodegradable. But I only do 3 or 4 at a time, and I've had really good luck with it. So I just, after everything is done and I harvest, I just tear them off of the root ball and they go in the garbage.
Oh yeah.
But it isn't much, you know. That's only every 9 weeks,
Yeah.
10 weeks. So
Times a year.
3 or 4 of them, yeah, no big deal. But,
Them
you know,
root
I like
bites, they last forever. I've had they do not break down whatsoever in living soil. You'd expect them to have a little bit of wear and tear on them.
They come out looking fresh and clean, huh? That's glass.
3 years later, yeah, they are. You know, it's annoying. I've got quite a few in there where I started off and I was just putting these the plugs in my beds and stuff. And then I was just leaving them in there. But now I'm more inclined to, if I've got a plug on the end, I'll pull it out.
Oh, look at this aeration happening over here. I see
and
bub.
that is why I don't use an air stone.
That's better than an air stone, if you ask me. Now, do you run that 24/7s because you have a chiller?
This is just the return line from the grow tray in the other room.
So it only
spray part. It happens once an hour.
Okay, once an hour. No, that's plenty of aeration, isn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, you've seen my roots. I mean, they're busting loose.
So how long will that run back for like that? Does it take maybe 30 seconds, 2 minutes? Do you know?
About 5 minutes, 4.5, 5 minutes. It's 528 gallons per hour.
Yeah,
that moves about 25 gallons in 5 minutes or so. Yeah, it's really fast. They're big. They're pretty good size pumps. So, but right now I still got the chiller going. Pretty soon I won't though, because the floor is getting cold. So I'll be putting the aquarium heater in. Hooking it to this many number.
Automation, huh?
That's right. The chill.
Well, it gets cold.
Like the chilled floor.
Look at all that automation.
But you what you get away with not having to chill it probably a lot in the summertime or the warmer weather because of where it's at, but then you're gonna have that cold in the winter where you're gonna have to heat it.
Hmm.
Yep.
Oh, it's a fine balancing act where you're at as well. It seems always that delicate dance, right?
Yep. You got to keep everything off the floor in the winter, pretty much. So next res change, I'll put it on a foam block, a big sheet of foam.
Hey, we talking about automation on your stuff there. We saw this, I saw this thing on how it's made, where it was like they were doing like beans, man. I think they were like, I don't know, I can't remember. I think they were lima beans, maybe. And after they processed these lima beans and they run them through a metal detector and a magnet and all this shit, they put them in this chute, man, with air, right? And they blow them across this little gap. But before they get to that gap, there's a camera that looks at every beam. And then when they get to that gap, if one of them looks messed up or like discolored or whack, or if it's a rock or something snuck through it, a puff of air, there's a bunch of little jets there, a puff of air will blast it off into a different bin. I'm talking a bean at a time. And it might sound weird, but there's like thousands of them blasting past in like a ductwork system. It's so wicked.
Isn't that cool?
Dude,
They use that on a lot of they use it on a lot of different stuff, but man, isn't that fast?
Oh,
it's
it
crazy.
blew my mind. And so it spurred a conversation between some friends, and we started thinking about automation as a whole, like in farming and shit, and how much automation is good, how much isn't. And it really took me down a thought process and a path of thinking and a conversation with some people that is quite enlightening, I guess you could say, because it takes you to places you don't think of, you know? And so I'm just curious and this is way beyond anything that any of us would be able to automate, but like I saw this other thing, Art, man, and I'm sure my friends here that are on Instagram, my wife knows what I'm talking about. There's this machine, man. It was rolling down through a field, field agriculture, and it had lasers on it, and it was zapping the weeds and only the weeds because it had like a camera that could identify the crop versus the weed. And it was blowing me away, dude. And I was like,
I saw that one too. That is great.
Hey, I'll take it a step further. I saw one that was it was a similar thing. It was like an automated machine that was like driving through the fields, and it was scanning all the plants individually in like different light spectrums so that it could see what it was deficient in. And each plant was getting like a shot of fertilizer individual for what it needed. And then
Wow,
that were
that
like
is so
that were
fun.
getting that were dying, it would just like kill them or kill the weeds as it went, and then it would have like a artificial intelligence that knew each plant individually as it went through the fields.
I was looking at something the other day, and they're asking for people that's got Chat GPT for a paid for service to get in touch with them, because they're now designing a Chat GPT sort of style thing that's going to diagnose your cannabis plants via a picture.
hey,
I'm generally against AI, but that sounds great.
Sorry, Art, man. I didn't mean to cut you off, buddy.
Oh, that's all right.
Just needs
Simultaneous.
enough information. All it needs is enough information, and if everyone's loading up their specific pictures, and if they know exactly what it is and causing an issue, then the AI is going to learn from it. So a new grower would eventually be able to just take a picture of their plant, and it's going to come back and it's going to be like, yeah, you need to do this, and they'll have the correct remedies and everything else, or even possibly tell you why you're in that situation in the first place.
So it's kind of like the Jetsons. And in this high-tech world, when we was kids, I would be like, thinking what the future would be. Here we are. XYZ, what do you think about the future? It's bright, right?
Flying cars, brother.
It's so bright, I'm blind, damn it.
It's bright, you gotta wear shades.
Yeah.
XYZ is so
you're got AutoCAD, so
you're so futuristic. You have a robotic cat.
No, not quite that. But I heard you guys talking about automation. It's like, oh, okay, my ears are ringing.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Burning on fire.
XYZ, I just want to say when you come up with that electronic cat, I want one too.
Sign me up.
Sign
Yeah,
me up.
I keep
Give
on
that
getting caught
payment
up.
plan for that fancy cat.
I keep getting caught up on what I'm going to use for fur, though. That's the problem.
Oh man. Hey, I couldn't think of any, but I got 10 different thoughts, right? I'm looking at something and thinking about something. Us and I had a rag up. He's shown a very, very important, tedious, something we all put off for sometimes a whole grow, which is cleaning our fans, man.
Yeah.
So we run all of our fans, as you can see when I put the screen back up, without a shroud on the front because it makes it easy, and they're plastic, so it only scares the shit out of you. It doesn't hurt you when you get your ear caught in it.
Yeah, I don't have a shroud on my fans either. You know, when you look at that and you realise, how disgusting dirty the air actually is.
Oh yeah.
Just
If you have a cat, oh man.
Yeah. And I have, if you have a look around my air gets pulled into my room, and around my doors, I can't. Yeah.
You have a sweep, like a door sweep.
Yeah, brushes. So so everything gets filtered out, and I have to go around and hoover them and everything. But yeah, it's amazing.
That's a good idea, man. Hold on, let's not brush over how amazing that idea is, because that's absolutely right.
What did he say again? Say that again.
Let's not brush over that idea.
No, the idea itself.
Oh, it's the the door sweep. Did you see it? Can you show us again? I think Artman might have been.
Yeah,
I was typing. Sorry.
No, it's a door sweep bolted, or instead of just on the bottom, it's all the way around. The brush kind, not the solid rubber kind. We've all installed those. I have one across.
So it blocks any light leaks as well.
Yeah, and it would filter, and then you could go down that with a shop vac, with a brush on the end of your shop vac, and clean it up lickety split.
I'll tell you where it's see that? This is where it's all being collected. All this, I'll have to, by the end of the week, that's going to be quite thick.
That's a pretty good idea, man.
That's crazy.
I love the ideas that come from like shows that, we've implemented a lot of other people's ideas in our own garden. And
I'll be sure to remember this too.
That might be another one.
Dude, it might seem trivial.
But on that note, I'm grabbing a coffee, so I'll be right back.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And that's what it's being filtered out of the air that gets pulled through the room.
It might sound trivial, but or corny, but even if you was growing in like an outdoor shed, something like that would even help keep pests out. Maybe not to 100%, but it would definitely be it wouldn't hurt, a good way to block off a gap in the door without having to remount the hinges. And really,
see, my issue is I would, in an ideal situation, I would just be cutting a hole in the door, putting a vent in, one of the ones with a light blocking and everything else. But because right outside this door, when I get a gas inspection, or I have to let certain people workmen into my house, they're going to come right outside this door. So yeah.
Look, Artman got his own version. He put that's sweet. That's like a straight rubber liner like you'd see at the bottom of the garage door.
And I went about halfway up.
That's righteous. Probably stops the airflow too a little bit, like cool.
No, it's all light. It was all light. I didn't care about the airflow. It was light.
Light
on. Leak.
Seems to be working, huh?
Oh yeah, it did a good job. And they're yours.
I think it was our buddy VPD grows some bushes, told us about putting the hangers in the corners. That was a damn good idea that I remembered. I think it was Brian 420 PM who uses the crocheting mat as like a a diffuser of water across the entire surface of his pots, his media. And what a wonderful idea that is. And so
Love it.
I
Love it.
see these different kind of things, and then the door sweep, which Artman already had some of that. I have one on mine, but it's just at the bottom, and it's more for smell. The other sides aren't bad, but the bottom had like a fat half-inch, and you could definitely, you know, I think it helps me keep the smells into that room a little.
Did you see Brian's post on Instagram this week? He had that plastic grid you were talking about, the plastic canvas,
Yeah,
but he also he had a thick, what it was a buffer pad off of a buffing machine, and he cut it to the size of his pot, his fabric pot, and sat it down inside of it. Put the plastic on top of that. I believe the plastic was on that, and then put his ring on top of that, and it would shoot the water really evenly all across the pot. Now I don't use fabric pots or soil or anything like that, but it watered it really good through a buffer pad. I'd never seen that.
Yeah, that's wild.
Oh, it works really good though. I mean, it moves the water right across the whole width of the pot, and then down it goes.
Cool to see the different ideas, man. And look at this. We got somebody, I'm not even paying attention here. We got somebody, he's getting bested at a game of chess over here by his.
Yeah, I've just been asked just to keep an eye on him for a second.
That's awesome. Good times right there.
He's such an intelligent little boy.
When life's simple.
He's now sort of learning his words and learning to count, and he just loved coming and playing with Granddad. And I love playing with him because I get treated like a stupid child for a couple of hours.
Yeah, for sure. People start looking at you like you're crazy grandpa, you know. It's the ones in the middle of that's awesome. I'm glad you get to spend time with them and play games and have fun. Family's everything, right?
Yeah, that's what it's all about, in my opinion. You know, I can't ask for anything else on this. I don't want for anything, because right here is everything that I need in my life. You know, I'm quite good. This is where I dedicate my time to, is my family life.
Right on. Isenide Jr.
Yeah, he's the latest member of the clan. I expect I'll have some more in the next few years.
Look, babe, Isenide.
Oh, cool.
That's the
hello, little guy.
That's Isenide Jr. The grand.
That's awesome.
Say hello.
Hello.
Can you say hello?
I'm busy.
I got
stuff to do.
That's awesome. Hopefully someday they'll be with us nine.
We'll
be on the up and up, and legal everywhere.
The world will be legal.
Yeah, man. You get to show the next generation how to do it right and what's important, you know, what isn't.
Yeah.
I used to think THC was the number one thing you wanted in cannabis, and I was sorely wrong. I used to think that Miracle Grow did such a good job on fundamentals, they'd have to do great on cannabis, you know, why would they not, you know? And then you start learning about things and you're like, shit. So it's good. You teach them all, you know, that's just two silly examples, but you know, all the important shit and you know, what to look for and how to go about it, because you already made all the mistakes.
Yeah, we had somebody come into Cocoa for Cannabis, and they showed us their newts, and 3 out of 4 of them were Miracle Grow. You gently tell them, you know, that's not really for cannabis, and, you know, kind of steer them to a different newt line or something, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's all you can do, and just know, and kind of like you said, gently, you gotta let them know, like your mind and heart is in the right place, but we're here to tell you,
if you're doing some type of covert grow and that's all you have and you can't get anything else for this grow, then you'll get to the end and you'll be able to smoke bud. I did that before. And I mean, this was a long time ago, but I had a covert grow. I grew it out in the woods. I was the only person that knew. And I used Miracle Grow because I didn't know. I couldn't talk to anybody about it. I had to keep it top secret. I was, paranoid about growing it anyway. And I got
Well, it's better than nothing.
It's better than nothing.
Better.
So,
hell yeah,
but
it is.
before you start off, or if you've got the means to get that changed over, stop using the Miracle Grow in your cannabis and just put it on your tomatoes. Because, like Smart said, it doesn't do bad in an outdoor garden. It has its place to do well with flowers and such. But yeah, not for, and you know what? Like people would assume, like I did before I found out that, well, tomatoes and cannabis are a lot alike. So why not?
Well, since we've gotten into this, we've learned a lot about the over application of nutrients,
nitrogen,
and phosphorus, and different things of how they're affecting our environment. And so you learn, like before I got into growing, I didn't really know anything about Monsanto's and Scott's Turf Builder and all these big, I didn't realize how, I used to wonder this too. This is no shit. I used to wonder how you could put weed and feed on your lawn. I used to always think, how the hell does that stuff know to only kill the weeds, and it blew me away a little bit, but I never put much thought into it after that. But I come to learn that it kills all dicot, and grass is a monocot. So it's just indiscriminately wiping out everything that's has a dicot. And some of those are good prairie grasses and shit, which obviously you can't grow in your yard around here. But it's just the idea that that's some poison shit that I don't really want to use, and I used to use it. So, I was a regular Joe off the street and didn't know, and thought, this is what it's made for. It works and it's got to be safe and all this. And then you come to realize that that's not the case at all. Not even a little bit. So it kind of goes back to the automation we talked about earlier.
It takes me, when Spot starts talking about this, it takes me on a path back to two plants that we named. They were our very first plants, and they were Laverne and
Sherry,
because one harmed.
One of them harmed, so I went for Laverne.
And a photo period plant versus an auto period plant. We didn't.
There was bag seeds that got real big, man. And that one was hulking out quick and ended up being hermed out and everything else. We're like, shit.
I challenged Smot to a duel, and he accepted.
Yeah. She called down the thunder, guys. And, I ain't no punk. I didn't back down. She said, I bet you can't grow that plant. Because when I met my wife, I had a little plant growing in the window, and it petered out and died, And then she was like, I bet you can't keep that alive. So I grabbed the poinsettia plant that we had and put it in some of the soil that was there, and off to the race it was. And then it kind of just kept growing and growing.
Yeah. And it was that poinsettia plant that, like, we just had it. It was right after Christmas, and we had it just on the table and found seeds in our bud, of course, threw them in the plant, not thinking, well, it's going to pop up, and it did. And
yeah, man,
and that's the history of it. Yeah, that's our original start of growing together.
Yeah.
But anyway,
hey, I wanted to get back to the automation because XYZ Vector had to join right in at that time. So here's some of the stuff that came up and during our thought think tank with some friends of ours, and it made me wonder about a few things. Like all right, like we were talking about automation. How much automation is good? Like, and this doesn't, I guess, even at home, if, and I know XYZ is kind of like the exception to the rule. The guy's never home. He's an engineer, and you've built yourself a nice system so you can grow your medicine while you're not at home. That's vastly different than, other reasons that farmers, whether it be big, medium farms, that they go automated. And I'm just curious, like we were talking about that thing that blasts the little beans out and stuff, you know,
Those machines.
those
Yeah.
machines. So those machines, do you look at those as good for the economy and shit, or do you look at those as like they took jobs from people that used to stand there on that line and visually sort those beans?
I kind of have a mixed feeling on this because I've gone into plants and totally automated people out of jobs. I mean, like
Yeah.
they had but if I didn't do that, they were going to move their production to China. So it's a mixed bag. I mean, when you automate something, you're gonna end up paying an engineer to keep it running or a tech to keep it running. They're gonna make more money. Um, the trick is that that tech or engineer has to cost less than all the people that they automated out of a job. And if the job changes even slightly a little bit, like, okay, we want to sort out the purple balls from the green ones. Your automation might not handle it. So you might spend $1 million developing a system that is now broken. So it's it's a mixed bag. I mean, yeah, it does take jobs, but it also kind of adds jobs, better paying jobs. And a lot of the people that do the what I call mundane work of sorting like tennis balls, they don't want to do it anyways. I mean, would
True.
imagine sitting there for 8 hours a day, sorting between green and pink.
You got to be in the right mindset
Hey,
and with the right people, like, to do that kind of work.
But those people are hard to find.
but there's people that don't have any choice either, you know? It's like
Yeah, but they have more
here's a good
jobs.
example for you. If we were flying on a plane, we wrecked it to a deserted island,
Oh,
right? And I came out and there was 20 of us there, and I came out first and said to you, XYZ Vector and everybody, I'm going to take care of the latrines. I'll dig the toilets. I'll take care of them. I'll do that work for everybody, right? But when you get your crops, I'm going to want some of those crops, you know? And you would think everybody on that island would be tripping over themselves to make sure that Smart was taken care of because of what he handled around our
No one
community.
wants to take and take care of the latrine, right?
Right. No one wants to do that, right? So you would think everybody would be tripping over that because I was doing the shittiest job, right? So that's
Yeah.
where the migrant workers that come in and pick these berries and do all this shit, you know what I mean? That's where they come in at, man. So we want to not pay those people and not treat them good, you know? And they're doing the shittiest jobs in the community, you know? And we end up, what do those people do when we get highly automated? You know?
Well, most of those people don't live here, so they just don't come.
Exactly. But it's still, you know what ends up happening? The people that are creating the technology that's outsourcing those people, it's creating a concentration of wealth. This is how we disperse wealth in our societies by hiring people through jobs. So whenever the same people that own the technology are the same ones developing it, you have a concentration of wealth like you have with Elon Musk and these guys, which, it's not, there's more concentration of wealth now than there was way back in the day before there was even income tax in America. And so
Yeah,
gotta have
yeah,
jobs,
the
man.
rich people can only afford to automate the poor people out of jobs. I agree with that. I mean,
It's tough.
it
I'm not
takes a
saying
lot of money to automate something.
I'm not saying I'm for or against it. I'm playing devil's advocate on
Well-
both sides. I see both sides of this coin, and I wonder where is the answer for our society? Maybe this ain't the show for it, but this is where my stone brain starts to wander off to when I have conversations
Let's
with
talk
people.
about automation in the garden.
Well, okay. Yeah, my automation failed. I mean,
What?
yeah, I had a fail. I have a leak somewhere in my system.
Damn.
And you're not home.
You're
Nope.
having some troubles lately, XYZ.
Yeah. Well, I
damn.
mean, that's the fun of automation. I mean, it's not smart enough to fix itself, but I mean, what am I to do? Thank God it's the end of the grow. If
Yeah.
it wasn't, I'd be
Yeah.
on a plane getting my ass home to fix it. But to fix it, I'm pretty sure I know what happened. But I mean, yeah, a tube fell off one of my drippers.
And you know what? Like you pretty much, like you said, you're at the end, so you don't have to like have that panic or not panic. I shouldn't say panic isn't the right word.
Oh, panic is exactly the right word. When I discovered it, I woke up one morning just checking on everything. It's like, wait, what the hell? Why is my res empty? It just filled it last
Oh,
night. Thank God I have a piece of code that says, hey, if you're only allowed to make one batch a day unless I manually tell it to you.
so
So
wait a
if
minute.
it would have gone into a cycle, kept on making batches, kept on, watering the plants, and it didn't leak into the house, thank God. It just was in that tray where but I
So
mean,
I'm at a loss here. I'm missing something. Is your reservoir level higher than your plants, or how did it keep filling? That
it's lower.
isn't it set on a timer then?
It's
Yeah, it's using a timer. It's basically a timer, but
Yeah.
that every time it runs, the way it works is that it has a scale for the reservoir to measure how many gallons it's got. And once it goes below a certain level, it calls out to make a batch, says, hey, I've got a low water condition. I need more
Oh.
newts. So it makes a batch, dumps it into the tank. But if I didn't have it a check for that to say, hey, if it's going to keep calling for it, more than once a day, keep on going. It would have kept making water, kept on, watering the plants every interval, and it would made like 15 gallons, tried to run it into the runoff tank, and that's only 20 gallons. So in a day, it would have flooded the house. So yeah, when you do automation, you have to play a chess game with it to figure out, okay, I got it automated, but where are all my failures? What can go wrong? What can go wrong? You have to keep asking yourself that. Otherwise, you come home to a flooded house.
Yeah.
that's no fun.
You have to think it through and play the tape all the way through and what scenario could happen, all the pitfalls, and sometimes no matter how many times you do that,
You can't think of them all. You can't.
this is why extra sets of eyes are always good, but then you always have the other eyes. Then sometimes that's not the best thing depending on your outcome or whatever what your final goal is. So it's tough, man. It's growing pains.
Growing pains, right?
That it is. That it is. Thank God I'm at, I just turned off my lights and like, you know what? I'll wait till I get home. I'll be home tomorrow. Knock on wood. I've said that 16 times now, but I am leaving tomorrow. So
That's right. You're gonna
I
end
gotta
up.
get home. I got harvest. My plants are in the dark and they've been in the dark for 2 days.
Are you gonna end up out in the desert of MJ BizCon?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Plan A fell
Awesome.
through. I have to go to plan B. Plan A was come up to Pittsburgh, but my mom's having surgery next week. So,
well, we hope she's all right, man.
Yeah, we hope that she has a speedy recovery from her surgery.
Yep.
me too. Me too.
Who knows?
But I'd just be a fifth wheel in that whole party. So I was like, you know what? Since I'm
Stay
not
close
going
to
there,
home. Yeah.
I'll park that plane ticket and I'll head up to MJ BizCon.
That's a 26-minute flight for you, versus coming.
I'm gonna drive up there. I'm not
Okay.
flying. It's too expensive to rent cars.
Yeah,
It's cheaper to pay for the gas and get in the car and drive up there than it is to fly.
yeah, that's always my thing is I'll go the cheapest route. Smart, and I might be able to get him on an airplane, but I got to tell you, I'll be nervous too because flying isn't, I don't like the big jets. I'd rather be in a smaller plane. I know it's it's more dangerous, but I don't know.
The smaller planes are much more scary. I mean,
Yeah.
they bounce around. They have less redundancy. In my just my experience, and I've flown more than I ever cared to. When I was a kid, I loved it. It's like, oh yeah, plane.
Yes.
But now it's like I gotta get on a plane. Damn it.
When I was a kid, I would go up in the little planes. It was just like being in the car and you weren't very far up. I could see my mom waving to me in the yard, and that was so much fun. I had such great memories. It's been since Yeah, I was a little girl. I was very young. The last time I went up, I was probably like 16, 15 maybe, but oh, I remember I have good memories. So I always felt safe. Um,
Well, who were you
let's
with?
face it, I was a kid when the last time I flew to, which I was in my early 20s. So I was still a kid the last time I flew. So I'm, going to be nervous, but I hope to meet a bunch of people in Las Vegas because Jack Greenstock was talking about a meetup in 2024. And that would be cool if everybody could like meet up there and I'd meet some of the summer growers. I can't wait to meet you, Andrew. I can't wait.
I want to mail someone a big package of weed covertly, then drive out there and retrieve it. That way I don't have to drive across 80 states with all that bud. They catch you in Kansas, you'll swing for that.
Yeah, yeah, we'll talk about that later, Smart.
Yeah, you know what I mean though. Like that's the way to go. Someday I want to make it out there.
Is kind of traveling with weed.
We'll stop and pick up Art Man along the way, swing over and grab Seed Person, and
we're gonna rent a party bus. My god, that would be so freaking cool.
Sober driver only, everybody else is in the back having fun.
Well, that's probably your best bet if you're afraid of airplanes. Charter a bus, get a whole bunch of people together to go, and split
every
it
time
up.
we pull up to someone's house to pick them up, we'll play the Magic Bus song.
By the time we get there, we're too stoned and we gotta like, oh, our plants, we gotta go back home.
Yeah.
Well, or just not have a grow when we do this meetup. But I'm thinking, on a plane, be in Vegas, couple days, be right back. It's a no-brainer. That's gonna be fun.
Well, yeah, in the future, I'm working on something for you guys. It should be done by New Year's.
I'm excited.
You'll have something.
Art Man got something. It looks like a jug full of
beautiful smoke.
Hashish smoke. Oh shit, he's about to head to the moon.
Into the stratosphere.
Buenos tardes, Art Man.
Yeah. Hey, I want to say out of the chat. I noticed the American One Bonsai Garden, Marcus Green Thumb, Darker. Welcome to the show and to the chat. Brian 420, 8 p.m. Space Coyote, Mr. Greenfingers. I hope I don't miss anybody. Galaxy.
Yeah, it's awesome to see everybody. Benny Ben, Supreme Grape.
Week after week. Decoy Bacon still here. Those
Frugal Force.
60 people.
Space Cowboy. Yins are all awesome for hanging out. Please feel free to share your links if there's a link in chat.
I think it's cool.
Spamming them. If you want to get a hold of me on Instagram, DM me if you want me to share your link on to our show. I'll be happy to support good gromies out there.
Oh, there's Uncle Rick. We missed them. Supreme Grape, W Digger, Anova, Rocinante. And there is 60 people here, and that's cool. The 60 people feel they come to have a good conversation. We always like that the chat brings up some good shit for us, get your wheels spinning, whether you're in that stage of growth or whatever the case may be. It makes you think about it,
Oh yeah. Plus, it's nice to see how everybody's plants are doing, how, the gardens are
always think about it
and growing.
You got 60 people there in the chat. If all of it's been growing for 1 year.
Oh, the knowledge
that's 60 different years of visual, experience, however you want to look at it. Some people in there, I know I for sure have 20 or 30 years or more,
Oh yeah.
And when you bring all those people together, you can usually get some really good points of topic here. I'm all hung up in the chat now. I'm just watching.
There's going to be a cool show on Let's Be Buds, December 6th. Ross Venante has agreed to give a demonstration of tissue culture. And he is going to take one of my samples of Flow OG and give a demonstration on the show.
That is
should be really, that's really cool. Yeah.
Hell
It's
yeah,
long-term
that is
storage.
so cool.
That is cool.
That is
So
really awesome.
he'll have Flow OG for long-term storage for me if I ever lose it or something.
Oh,
I don't
that's
know how
really
it'll work
cool.
out, but hell yeah,
He's
it's great.
I think I seen he's talking, but he's muted.
I was going to just say, there's going to be an even
There you
cooler show on Rick's show on the 29th because I'm going to be there.
What's it about?
It's about everything. we're gonna put the world to rights. No, there's no topic. It's just been asked if I'd come and do a guest show.
Well, that's cool.
It's like
deal.
Seinfeld, a show about nothing.
I put the Let's Be
Everything.
Buds website link in chat if you want to go there. I'm sure that they have some sort of schedule. You can find out what guests or just go over and support a good show, good Gromies. And
Okay, Ice and
it's
I is
for
going to be
everyone.
on week after next. I'm going to be on next week because they're having a press show. So I'm going to be on Let's Be Buds with Rick and them, and we're all going to press rosin. So
That's
that'll be cool.
awesome.
It's cool to see the exchange around the community of different people's ideas and how you can go from channel to channel learning different shit from week to week. I like that. Genetics.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to be on Tuesday morning. I'm the guest on Caribou Heart Show.
Damn.
So if you guys want to come over there, yeah.
I posted
Yeah,
that
so
too.
yeah, we're going to be talking about my grow, my art, a few other things. So come on over there and check it out. This Tuesday morning, 8 Central. What is that, 9 your time?
Yep.
Dinner time for me.
It's like we're hanging out with a bunch of rock stars over here. They have a itinerary, or no, what do they call that? You know, a tour schedule here.
The tour schedule is
Yeah.
cool. I like
to
the
make
tour
some good
schedule.
artwork and start posting it down at the bus station. Art, man, everybody's on tour, man. That's cool though. I like to see the different, because you can go there and you see a bunch of different people pressing. I know people do shit different, you know, some people double bag, some people don't, some people like a hotter press, and that's where you get ideas to try in your own house and figure out what you like. Because I think pressing's like growing. There's a pretty, I mean, when you see
one of them is going to be pressing hash, so bubble hash. So
oh,
that's
yeah.
that's a level up, you know, from what I do.
Yeah. And if they have a freeze dryer, like I don't know if Ross
They do.
he
Yep.
might be on that show too.
I think Smart and I are in a good position to practice with our press with some bud we really don't care about right now. I know it's good in and good out, but I think that if we can get it down with stuff we don't care about before we throw in some good buds in there, that would probably be good for us just to play around with a couple.
Well, you gotta get the process down.
You can't.
No, you have to get the process down before you start throwing good flour.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So I'm thinking, you know, we have some bud that we're not like, it's second string. It's for cooking with and sifting, and you know what I'm talking about.
It's pretty wild.
Well, I'm harvesting on Saturday, but I cut some lower branches on Wednesday, so it will be done by the time Wednesday's show comes around. So I got some hanging. I picked it a little early,
Oh,
so
cool.
I'd have something to press. Yeah, so it'll be that clear press rosin. You know, give me another kind of it'll be a different buzz, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, that sounds pretty awesome.
Well, hey, in a little bit, I'm gonna flash my lights on. I want to see what's going on in my tank. I'm curious.
It's got you.
That's cool. We'll be here to see, and you're gonna be back home tomorrow, right? You said for cutting.
Yeah, tomorrow at midnight.
After midnight.
Yeah.
Cut it all down.
Well, I don't know if I'm gonna cut it down at that time. I'll be tired.
You will be tired.
You're
gonna need some rest, but you know that you're gonna be tending to them like right now or soon.
Yeah,
before you know it.
Yeah, it goes so quick. Today will be over, and yeah.
Corn terps. That's exactly what it is. That bud's like pressing
Oh.
corn terps.
Corn
That's
terps.
exactly what it would be like. The cornier.
That
the
had to be
terpier.
weed nerd, right? That had to be
Yeah.
weed nerd.
That's you know what? It explains it, man. It's not like pressing a sweaty sock that isn't in a good way. Trust me. It's we got some buds that just honestly they didn't turn out that great. They went through the cantrol, they went through the same process as other buds that were great. I guess it's just the life of a seed caster, you know.
Well, don't expect a miracle because you garbage in, garbage out.
That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
that's
may-
what I'm saying.
It may be better, more concentrated. It may get you higher, but don't expect a miracle.
Right. It's
Hey,
not
hey,
into some
hey.
good fruity shit, you know.
Hey, man, I've turned, boots into edible food before. So I don't know.
That's
I
different.
could argue.
Yeah, that's a
I was
little
gonna-
different though. Edibles is another level. So
Crispy,
I'm
didn't
just
you
kidding.
say you wanted to try cooking with hash oil?
Yeah, and some sift too. So I'd like to put that in. Why not press the buds, throw it into oil? It's a win-win. I like that. Hell yeah, seed person. That's a good another good point for us to break out our press.
You ain't-
Soon.
You ain't got to convince me. I'm down.
hey,
Ugh.
seed person, your lights on yet or?
They should be on in the next several minutes. I'm gonna unzip the tent. Nope, not quite yet, but I can see it in the dark.
In the dark. I got all these songs running through my head for you guys.
Yeah, see what you did to him after midnight. Now he can't get it out of his,
Now I got
his
Eddie
head.
Muddy in my head.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Seed person got it.
Okay.
Boy, it is stacked up nice. Hold on a second here. I got to put you on the big time.
Hell yeah, they did.
The one and only seed person one's tent. Look at that.
Is there a way to do flash?
This really resembles the cheap home grow tent. I gotta say, it's like full up. Maybe that one back corner looks a little like it was giving you a little bit of a shoulder shrug, huh?
This one here, maybe. This one, yeah, maybe a little bit too.
Yeah.
But here, let me show you this while we wait for the lights.
Oh, here comes
We got a bunch of stuff.
On
These
side.
are all
those,
extra
yeah.
clones here.
Okay.
Yeah, that one back. Mm.
What's that?
You got a couple of rough ones there, don't you? Front
Yeah.
left, back right.
Yeah.
This here and there.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, these just went into the peat. They were in the little plugs. So I just took the bags off them yesterday. But I actually
Sometimes they
have
get worse before they get better when you do that way, huh, seed person? Because they was
Yeah.
in the bag, they kind of ruffled them up. Now in a couple of days they should start pulling up, right?
Well, that's cool.
yeah.
That's
These
fun.
are all these look like that over
Yep.
here. They
Couple-
are bouncing back. But yeah, these are all extras for my buddy. And then I've got green crack here. This is Farmer's Daughter, Native Honor. This is cool. They put out a smooth leaf.
Oh, that's weird. I have never seen that. You always come up with weird stuff, man.
That's
Yeah.
That's wild.
And then
Hey,
this one here has a
Frankenseed.
double. It took the serration off of that and put it onto this plant.
That's weird. Because the one looks like almost
It is
indicative.
double.
The other one
It looks like a
indicative
saw
of
blade.
like a light leak. It's starting to re-veg a little bit. Isn't that what that looks like? That one's there,
Kind of, yeah.
Oh,
but the other ones are
strange.
doubled. That's wild.
It is
But
wild.
it does have serrations, though. The other one does have serrations on some of the leaves.
Right.
Yeah.
This is just the new growth. And it has a little bit on this side, but on that side it's
I'm curious to see what the
Those are
next set
smooth.
coming out looks like.
yeah, we'll keep you posted. Yeah, that's the Native Honor, which is one of the ones I was really excited about. Then I got an extra green crack here. It's my backup. So this is going to be a mom. This will be a backup. I got some seeds that are going 9-pound hammer. 5 reg seeds here. So I'm gonna look through those as well. I'm just kind of popping stuff, and if I like the way the plant looks, then I'll take cutting of it and keep it, and then do like a bunch of solo cups and flower everything out and see what I like. Shit, this lights. There we go.
Let there be light.
There we
Looks
go.
beautiful in there, man.
Close enough.
Oh, they're
Oh,
chunky.
it's nice.
So
Sweet.
everything's setting pretty good. And I'm happy with the way that the frost is, especially back here.
Wow, looking super
one
good.
fucking
What week are you in?
Shot up
Awesome.
there. Like 3 weeks, maybe.
Hey,
Yeah.
welcome to the show, Bonsai Garden Guy.
Yes, welcome.
Hey, Bonsai, what's up?
How's it going, Art Man? How's it going, everybody? It's an early day for me. I'm over here on the West Coast, so
Ah,
Good
okay.
morning. Good
Good
morning.
good morning.
Yeah, what week was you at Seed Person again?
Like 3 weeks, maybe, from
Okay.
flower, or
Looks nice.
3.5.
Yeah, they're gonna start
Vigorous.
focusing
Vigorous.
on they're gonna start focusing on that bud development and the biomass. The biomass period is pretty much past, and they're looking real good.
They bolted severely, man. They were like a quarter of that just 2 weeks ago. It seemed like
Yes. Yeah.
They did shoot. Yeah.
he had
Yeah,
a
they were
timeline
maybe
or
8 inches from the bottom of or from the top of the pot there,
when you
the
flip.
top of the soil when I flipped them. So
They
they went
bolted well, man.
4 times, 3 times.
Oh, I hate it when that happens.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's so
There's
horrible.
Kitty.
Hey, Kitty.
Faticus. Faticus. He's still Faticus to me, and I say it with all the love. He's
Oh, he is still.
Are we showing our mascots?
yeah, man.
yeah,
We
you
always
got
show.
Always.
Lug lug.
Whenever it's all right, you done Seed Person? Your camera went off.
Oh yeah, no, I'm done. Whoever
It's
else
looking
is
good,
up,
man.
Bonsai.
Garden's
Yeah.
looking
Thank you.
Great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you want to see my mascots?
I do. Give me 1 second here. He got let's see.
How are all my puppies?
Oh yeah, I see
Oh,
the
there you
puppies
go.
now.
You got a couple there too.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing. Oh, there he is.
No, XYZ.
He's got a few
Oh.
dogs.
Hold on.
Oh
a
yeah,
second.
this isn't all of them. I have one. Linky boy, where you at, bud? He's an old boy.
You
He's
got
a cowboy corgi.
four dogs, huh?
Yeah,
You get-
3 pitties
Oh.
and then a corgi.
Hey,
So
hold on. This is cool. This is
Yeah.
cool, but I gotta
Hi.
figure this up. XYZ has taken control because he is labeled as co-host. I always do that so people can just share shit. But Bonsai was talking. I think he thought he was on the screen. So
I'm sorry.
No,
you're good.
I just want to make sure. I don't want you to introduce. So we can do. I tell you
Yeah,
what.
just hang out for a minute because we'll get around and go through a garden tour. I want to,
Oh, I'm seeing XYZ's
That's
plants
been a
now.
minute.
Is that what that shot was?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
This is
We were waiting
XYZ.
for that.
going into the tent, see what those plants are doing.
I just see tent wall now.
Well, yeah, it's the camera's booting up.
Hey, is American one here?
He is. He was, unless he went out.
I am
Let him
here.
in.
There
he is.
What up, Tao?
Hey, Tao.
Cheers to
No.
everyone coming in.
I had to send a public thank you to somebody. I don't know if they want everyone to know they hooked me up, but I appreciate it greatly.
Oh, that's
Fantastic.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Actually,
someone-
yeah, you're welcome, bro. Hey,
Yeah, see
you
you
guys,
person one.
Tao,
There you go, man.
Tao might maybe possibly allegedly have gotten a little bit of that upside down clone
Oh,
to try.
Oh,
Awesome. That is such great news.
It was awesome. It was very good. I didn't finish it. I've been squirreling it piece by piece. Nice, dense
thought
little
that'd be
nug,
fun.
tasty. Yes, dude. And the cookies help drastically. I needed that so bad. I love you. Thank you.
I'm so glad. Yeah, for sure, man.
oh wow, that's
You're a great grow me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm glad
Yes.
that you're feeling. That makes you feel better, Tal. I know. I was talking about this earlier. I know sometimes a move can like hold on when you're not feeling, but it will come around. It's just time does heal everything. You'll get used to your surroundings. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
then
but
the culture
I
shock of it.
Clearing up
other
all shit.
other extenuating. I was almost getting used to it, and then other extenuating circumstances kicked in. Yeah, it's a big long story, but I'm doing 2 routes instead of one, and yeah, it's made for 2 people. I'm killing myself, but hopefully that will end too, and then it'll be even better. So we'll see what happens. I'm all right though. I'm all good.
Awesome. It's good to hear, buddy. I'm glad to hear that for sure.
Well, hey, Tal, there's your girls right there.
Oh damn!
Nieces.
They're fat and chunky, bud. And what is this?
Oh yeah,
What are they?
that's the Amy Aces.
All of them are.
All those, yeah.
Heck yeah,
Chunky.
dude. There's some chunks. I like the looks of that.
Super chunky, no doubt.
Yeah, they're big, chunky. I just hope I've been keeping it super dry in there. You can see my leaves are already just crinkling up. So dry.
And that one is real purple, huh? It's not a cold purple, or maybe
No,
it
this
is.
this is a purple Urkel. This is a different
Okay.
different strain right there.
Hey, Ty, I gotta get you XYZ. I love you, dog. He went in automatically from the road, lowered the house temperature so his plants would be nice and cool. His wife was calling him up saying, "Hey, what the hell? It's like 65 degrees in here, man." He's like, "Yeah, my plants need to be cold." He's freezing her out, man.
Yeah, I heard that. You were talking about that last week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Look,
Yeah, there you go.
I love
But
it.
look at the days, 69, flowering 69 days. I should be over there harvesting it.
You will.
Yeah,
I know.
You
Extra
will.
never hurt.
Patience, grasshopper.
It's gonna be worth the wait.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Amen. Been there. Am there actually.
Yeah, you're a week out there, aren't you? Art?
Yep. Saturdays. Well, according to Trikes, I mean that'll be the ultimate determine, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Saturday's 9 weeks, so it should be.
All right, sorry, Bonsai. That was a little mix up there. You still got your clan with you there? I seen there was a couple.
Where are my dog dogs?
Let's see. Yeah, they'll be coming real quick.
Oh,
won't
there they are.
Oh,
They
This
like
one's
the
lucky.
garden. They like
Everybody
hanging out.
wants a scratch.
Oh yeah, they do. Are you gonna jump up on me? Is that you're gonna do your normal thing? Hi.
And they're
Hi.
all waggy.
Hi. Oh yeah. Oh, okay.
Have a big lick.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
love
this is
our
Doug
animals
Ladd.
here.
They
And-
make it funner to garden, I think.
Yeah, they're like
Yeah.
their family.
Hi. I call
Oh,
her Dingo because she's so wild. But hey, Cleo, where you at, baby?
Oh, that's so cool. Oh, is
We love our pets for sure.
she a little older, maybe? She's-
Actually, no. These two are 4 years old, and she's only 2 years old.
she's just a slow mover, huh?
He is
Yeah.
chunky.
She's
Big
my little
chunky.
chunky monkey.
yeah. That's cool.
Call him a little fat fat.
They look
She's my
healthy.
little fat fat. Oh
Those
yeah.
animals
Well,
look
those
healthy
ladies
and
look
happy.
chunky right there.
Oh yeah. Let's see them.
Yeah, we got some baseball bats going here in the back. We're looking pretty good. We probably got about 3 more days before harvest. I got done scoping trichomes this morning, and it's almost there. We're like right around the corner. But I mean, they've been frosting up super hard. I mean, I can't wait to get these girls down because I'm going to be washing and, you know, probably saving a bunch of the tops, obviously, for flower. But I got a little lazy on the lollipop when you look
Uh-oh.
here. But that's I'm calling it a blessing in disguise because I was like, ooh, got a new washing machine, need to give that a run.
There you
And
go.
yeah, that's one of those things where, you know, a lot of folks are like, oh, you should have defoliated. And yeah, I'll admit I got lazy. Okay.
Hey, man.
I'll be the first to admit that I got a little bit lazy. But as I started looking around as flower continued, all of a sudden a lot of this can't be defoliated because I have, let me see if I can get in on that real quick
You got a lot of trikes all over, huh?
Oh, beautiful.
Uh-oh.
Well, any larf washes real good.
That's
So
patio right there.
I
Yeah.
think you're cutting out a little bit from being in
Oh
the,
yeah, and that's my thing.
you there.
you dip in the tent, you're cutting
Yeah,
out,
Can you
buddy.
hear me?
it's a Faraday
Yep,
when
we
you
got you.
go in, but we can hear you now.
Yeah, you dip in the
Yeah,
tent,
there we
it
go.
loses you.
So
There you are. Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of strange, but yeah, no,
Yeah, you're
I
good,
planned
man.
on. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of it's gonna be a lot of work. But as is every harvest, and I mean this is only a 3x3 under a 300-watt light. So I mean
Doing
I have a
great,
lot of
man.
I've got a
Yeah,
lot
it's
of
good,
folks
man.
out there that are like, oh, pound it with light.
Yeah.
Don't need to.
No.
Really don't need to pound
No,
plants
you can
with light.
grow right on 300 watts. You can do it easily. Big giant buds. You're killing it over there. It's
I agree.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's
I do a lot of
fantastic.
automated. So I run the blue mats here. So, and I got the drip emitters that do the full circle around it, and I grow in living soil. So
Nice.
I think this soil is on its 7th run.
Wow.
Yeah, like
No
7 runs
kidding.
deep. Yeah,
How do you
I'm
like
never-
them blue
I'm-
mats?
I love them. You know, at first it was a little bit tricky getting them dialed in because they give you the directions and everything, and they're like, oh, once you get that, you know, hanging drip of water, you're going to want to crank it like a half a triangle more is what they call this, the little markers that they have on the heads there. And I had so many runaway carrots where I'd come in the next day and my whole bottom of my tent would be like 2 inches full of water, and you know,
Oh,
yeah, it was a little bit of a pain in the ass at first, just kind of getting them dialed in. But now that I've used them for, God, I think this is like my 4th or 5th cycle with them, never have any problems whatsoever with it. And I'm filling a 5-gallon bucket for these girls. When they were in the first couple of weeks of flower, it was about every 3 days. So I would fill it and they would just suck it down since it's, you know, gravity fed. But now that they're getting towards the end, I'm filling the bucket maybe once a week, if that.
Nice.
So they actually do let me know via the blue mats that they're getting ready to come to an end, because I can see that their water intake really slows down a lot. So it's another thing that kind of helps me with my harvest time.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So and of course I've got the jeweler's loop. You know, this thing was literally only $20 on Amazon. Probably one of the best investments. I do have a really high powered microscope as well, but I got to get my computer all set up, and I can go up to about 1,000. As far as the
you're seeing everything. That is nice.
That's what we use, man. My old eyes, and I get shaky, you know, so I got to see it on a big screen. But I know what you mean. It's definitely worth investing in something, whatever suits, you know.
Where you can look at those trichomes up close, and you know, but that's not the only way to, you know, tell your plant. You know when your plant is done. You'll see it all. You know, what are some of the other things you look for?
Yeah,
besides strikes, because
my senescence, the senescence that comes through naturally. These girls have not been fed once. The soil has done all of the work for me. Transplanted them 60 days ago as of today is when they got flipped flower. So transplanted like 64, 65 days before that. So they've gone 65 days, no top dress, no nothing.
Right on.
So I really rely on, you know, seeing these beautiful colors come out of these genetics. It's kind of strange for me is it is a little bit cold here, but the coldest they get down to is about 65 degrees. But every single genetic that I have grown, I don't know why this happens for me. I think, no, there was only one genetic that I had stay green. Everything that I have grown for some odd reason loves to turn purple for me. It either turns purple or it turns black. You can see some of these leaves over here.
And what was your temperature you said?
65 degrees is the lowest.
Yeah, that might be your reason for your
Yeah,
purple.
that's pretty chilly. That's pretty chilly.
That is. That's
I
what's
only
voted for sure.
I have about a 10 degree temperature swing, maybe about max. So these girls only get up to about 76, 78 at the max. And then usually it's about 65 to 68 degrees. Even when I had my setup in a different area, I had it in a closet before, and it used to get like rip roaring hot in there. Everything still turned purple for me.
We grew in similar conditions in an open grow space that our temperatures would get to like 65. Now we got a couple to get color, but like even with those,
Not that kind of consistency.
we were not getting consistency like that, but we were getting it pretty cool, and that's cool to see it happen in your garden like that. Those colors are beautiful.
I have a question.
Mine was
Mine
was along one wall. Because that wall was cold, the block. I've since insulated it, but that whole side of the grow is kind of purpley.
Ah,
Cool. Cool.
Yeah, you can tell. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Smart. Go on.
No, that's a good explanation of cause and effect right there. If you see something like that going down. Hey, Bonds, I was curious. How big are your pots when you're vegging, and how long did you veg this tent for?
This tent was vegged for, I want to say, about 45 days, roughly. I start them out in 2-gallon pots. So let me slip over to the clone tent here real quick. I start everything in 2-gallon pots always. And that buys me, even if I were to let it go a little bit longer than 45 days, I can usually get about 50, 55 days worth of nutrients to the plant without having any adverse effects. So majority of my stuff, like once I get it planted, they just get water only. I do have a couple of things that I use, like the Q-Yaha and the aloe and the coconut molasses every so often. And then we have a local company with like a earthworm casting leachate, basically, is what it is. So yeah, and I'm sure you can hear one of the babies going wild in the background right now.
Actually,
You have twins, right? You got twins, right?
Yes, sir, I do.
That's right.
They're about 19 months old. I think my wife just got home.
Oh, wow.
So I think,
Fantastic.
yeah. So everything usually gets maybe 30 to 45 days of veg. These clones have been planted for almost 2 weeks now. And I do know a friend of mine is going to be coming to get 5 of these today. I do love to give away genetics. That's just kind of who I am.
That is awesome.
Cool.
About that on show.
That bonsai, that is so freaking cool.
Lots
I love
of fun,
it,
man. Hell yeah.
A lot of
he's getting
love here. A lot of very generous, wonderful people in this community. You guys are just amazing. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a community, not a marketplace. That's how I always put it to everybody. So I can get, if you need to make a few bucks, you know, selling a friend a clone for $10, that's like a teenager. It doesn't break the bank. You're going to give them good genetics. But at the end of the day, it's like I said, it's a community, not a marketplace. If you can give people genetics, because I know a lot of people struggle in that department because they're like, man, I just don't get these yields. I don't get the quality that I'm looking for, but I can't necessarily afford the genetics that I'm really looking at. Well, you never know who's out there in the community. They could be willing to drop you a cut. You know, once you have that cut, turn that cut into a mother, and then you can have a full tent, a monocrop of, you know, a genetic and quality that you're looking for.
Right on.
And you know, like with you know, the clones and everything being, you know, you say you give them to your friends. I just thought it was so cool when I first was hearing about clone shippers. Now I posted ATG Acres website.
He don't do those.
He doesn't do them anymore.
No,
Okay, but he used to have these cool clone shippers. Do you ever do any of shipping of your clones? Just curious.
I have before. I have a specific way that I do it though. It's usually not rooted. And what I'll do is I take an aloe leaf and I'll like snip the tip, smash it up so it's got gel, and then I will put the cut end of the plant inside there, and then I'll go ahead, wrap it up, and then ship it out if I do
That's pretty cool.
like
That's
that. So aloe, it's a good rooting gel. It's a great natural rooting gel. It's actually all I use when I do my clones. If not, then it's a little bit of hydrogen peroxide and water, and that's all. I use arrow cloners, so I built my own because it's a lot cheap. Like I built my 15, I think it's a 15 site cloner for about $60. So, you know,
Love
trying
it.
to look around.
Do it yourself, brother.
Keep
It's-
home grow. Yep.
Yeah. Well, no, and I encourage everybody to do that. If you have the opportunity to DIY, and it's just you know, look around online. You would be amazed how much shit is out there that people have designed, and you're like, well, I was thinking about doing it this way. You may pull up that design and be like, oh, okay, so my design wasn't necessarily going to work the way I wanted it to because they have this small thing different in there, and it could just, you know, make a world of difference for you when you're going through your build. Like I did a DIY, the cloner I actually built is on my YouTube because I did a DIY cloner episode where I built the whole thing, drilled the holes, put in the sprayers.
Hey, let's get that link up for the people.
I'm going right now.
You asked for it, you got it.
Yeah, I did quite a few things in there. I've also got a DIY CO2 diffuser in there as well. If you don't use mushroom bags, you can use yeast and sugar and pureed tomato in there as well. And then it lasts for about, I don't know, 30 to 45 days if you go about it that way. So yeah, there's some useful info on my channel as far as being able to do some DIY stuff, because I know when everybody first gets into growing, they hear all these things. Oh, I need CO2. Oh, I need a cloner. Oh, I need this. Oh, I need that. Well, I mean,
oh yeah, it's unfortunate the amount of money people waste, and you know, it's nice to get in and start and see where you settle in at later on once you understand a little bit more, you know.
Yeah, once you feel comfortable with how your style of growing is going to be, you look back and you're like, oh my God, I wasted hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on things that I didn't need to do because it just doesn't line up with how I like to grow now. And I'm guilty of that. I'm super guilty of that. I've tried bottled nutrients. I've tried all sorts of different dry amendments, from Gaia Green, Mr. B's, down to Earth.
Undersized humidifiers, undersized dehumidifiers, undersized fans. You know.
Oh yeah.
Blurple lights.
I had a blurple for a long time. I had blurples. And as soon as I was able to switch to the full spectrum, it was a world of difference. I was still getting results with them, but not quite the results I was looking for, because when I was growing under the blurples, I had a lot of airy bud. And I think that's because the blend between the red and the blue was way off, way off. Like I had a very, very, very deep purple hue versus that, like, you know, you see some blurples and it's got that like nice light purple on it. So that means it's just a little bit more red than the blue. Mine had a little bit more blue than the red. So it was doing more cell division than anything rather than trying to pack it in. And
smoke on the wall. No, go ahead.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I was like, well, we're going to have to figure out a solution for this. And this is, you know, oh God, I want to say about 6 years ago. Yeah, like about 6 years ago, that I was like, you know what, let's look into the LED world. I was watching people, but I mean, they were having these fixtures that were like $1,000, and I'm like, yeah, that's gonna take a wet bite out of my ass. I'm good on that price range. Let me see what I can find.
Yeah.
That's what I paid for my first one in 2018. I paid $1,000 for a Fluence Spider 2X 330 LED bar light.
But in just knowing that is a 2-income, no children household, you know what I mean?
And you know what else? We have like 4 or 5 under that light. We have about 4 or 5 documented grows where we got 2 pounds out of a 4x4 tent, and we got all the journals and shit. So the light paid for itself, and it really spurred my thought process, because we went from 1,000 watt HPS metal halide over to a blurple, and then to that light, and we watched the difference in the and I was like, holy shit, you know. And then we bought our par meter and we started testing lights and shit, and it really opened my eyes up on, you know, spectrum, light densities, distribution, and all the things that come along, you know, flux and usable out versus total output, and the different things that really important in lights. And it's been a fun time, man. It ends up being one of the most important parts of the grow. It's one of the most expensive things that we pay for is electricity. So, you know, that in my garden is what induces me to try and grow in a fast style, because, you know, the faster that I can get through a grow, the less money that I pay per gram, and you know, and still get good quality medicine. And it's just been, you know, I love that avenue, man. And I like that people get us thinking on our lights and shit like that, you know?
And that's what kind of like these shows are all about. You know, you get a lot of these folks that are like, oh, I use chilled LED and I use this and I use that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa, hold on, slow down a second. Like, don't get me wrong, those are some good lights, but there are a lot of comparable lights out there, possibly within the price point that you're looking for.
Right
Like
on.
I have multiple lights. Like this one right here is my Viper Spectra XS2000. I've had this thing for like freaking 4 years and it's
Yeah.
still running like a champ. I haven't had any differences as far as par and everything, because I got a little par meter as well. As long as you're keeping your equipment maintained, like I said, this light's 4 years old. And if you look underneath there, I don't have any diodes that are out. Nothing. And I still get great results. This is usually my flower tent. I really like my Viper Spectras. For some, I just have really, really, really good with them every time that I've ran theirs. So, but over here, I used to use this Mars Hydro
I run the
ST3000
Vipars too. They're good lights.
Dude, Viper Spectra, when they came out with the KS series, I was like, that's a wet dream come true. Because all they had when I was initially looking at them were the quantum boards. And I was like, man, if I could just get something that would fit this footprint, that would be fantastic. And then they came out with those, because I pestered the Viper Spectra representatives that are on Instagram and via email. Like, when are you guys coming out with a bar style? When are you coming out with a bar style? You know, and they were like, oh, soon, oh, soon, oh, soon. And then they finally dropped them. Like, don't get me wrong. This Mars Hydro FC3000, it was meant to be by Mars Hydro. That's kind of why this is a whole Mars Hydro setup. I've got their inline fan. The only thing that's not Mars Hydro in this tent is that fan right there, the AC Infinity Cloud Ray 6. So it's a good light. This is a good light. Don't get me wrong. It's really good for your budget. Even though I didn't have to purchase this, they sent this to me for content purposes, whatever. I already fulfilled that contract with them. But I feel like it could do a lot more. I mean, don't get me wrong. This canopy looks great. Tons of solid buds. But my XS2000, which is a 240 watt light, produces the same thing with 60 watts less.
Do you have a par meter?
I do.
Okay. Have you tested do you stick it in there to see if it gives about the same?
Yeah. And that's the thing is, it does do about the same, which is kind of wild. You'd figure 300 watts, I might have a little bit more par versus, you know, one that's, it's 240, I think is what that one actually comes out of the wall at. So I have the one that tests it from the wall as well, exactly what wattage is going to be going into it. So, a lot of it has to do with just the efficacy of the lights themselves, because when you look at the stats of them side by side, the Viper Spectras are actually a little bit higher in their efficacy than most lights, especially that KS series. I mean, Dr. MJ Coco did a par test on that one, and you know, a bunch of other people have done that. As Micro Ray, I think, is the guy. He also did one as well, and everybody really likes to you know, boost how that KS series came out. So, but like I said, don't get me wrong. for affordability and bang for your buck, Mars Hydro, Spider Farmer, Viper Spectra, you know, a lot of companies like that, they're really good. And obviously you can get the results with them. I'm just looking for just a hair more. I mean, just a hair more. I mean, this is a 3x3. Obviously, I'm not going to be pulling, you know, multiple pounds from it, but I can get close. But I mean, overall, it's still a good setup. I can't really complain about that.
Yeah, it looks like a great setup. What were the strains that were in there again?
On this side, we have two different phenotypes of the Mendo Cups from Robin Hood Seeds, which is the sister company to Square One Genetics. And then we have the Mendo Sunset over here, two different phenotypes as well. And it's when you start looking at them, it's like you can see on this one. I don't know if you guys have grown Sunset Sherbet. I have multiple times, and it's always had these nice smaller little popcorn buds. The internodal spacing's always been a little bit longer on them, but they don't produce these like big old gargantuan nugs. And then you have the Mendo Breath, which I've grown Mendo Breath a couple times as well. When you look back here, you can see that there's some larger buds on there. So I basically, for each one of these, and I didn't know it was going to turn out this way, the ones in the back took on more of the Mendo Breath structures, where the ones in the front were like, this one took on more of the Sunset Sherbet structure, and this one actually took on the Banana Buttercup structure. I've seen Banana Buttercups grown all the way out, and it is a weird ass looking genetic. Like, it almost looks like it's trying to foxtail there, but it's not. It's not foxtailing at all. It's just got these weird buds that kind of, they go like this, and then all of a sudden, whoop whoop, straight
Yeah,
up.
I know it. I know what you mean. Sometimes that's genetic, and
Like Rowdy's plants.
yeah,
Rowdy has some. They're like stacked bracts or something.
Mhm. Yeah. So, I mean, it was super exciting for this run. I do have cuts of, I mean, all of them. The Mendo Sunset, I like it. Don't get me wrong. I like it, but I don't love it. That's what kind of dictates what I'm going to keep in the garden. The one Mendo Sunset that I am keeping is part of a breeding project that I have going on with Chad Westport.
Okay.
I bred the Mendo Sunset with the Nakatomi Plaza. So, yeah, it's going to be called Nakatomi Sunset. As a matter of fact,
our buddy Artman has a Nakatomi Plaza cross going on. And then Seed Person's got some mushrooms here on the screen real quick at the end.
She got a free chop. This is I call it my mama bear of the Mendo Sunset that I bred with the Nakatomi Plaza. I was able to kind of split open some of the bracten there and see that the seeds were fully browned and fully developed. They were pollinated a little over 5 weeks ago. So I know it's between 4 to 6 weeks to fully mature seeds on there. So that was super exciting. We're going to see how those ones come out. The one that I chose to breed with was a very sweet fuel smell to it, as far as the female goes. And then Chad's Nakatomi Plaza, I know I keep flipping back and forth, but this is the dad right here. You can see I've got pollen sacs still on there. I'm going to go ahead and get in here and clip that. I've rendered useless by spraying it with water. So, but this is also the mother right here. That was just cut and hang. I took cuts off of her. She's got a really nice structure and everything, but it's primarily the smells, and I'm breeding with intent. I'm not just pollen chucking.
Right. No, that's
So
good. It's the intent is definitely the difference there, you know.
Yeah, well, a lot of people they pollen check say, "Oh, I made a brand new genetic." Well, what were you trying to do when you were making that genetic? Were you just hoping that something good was going to come out of it? Because I'm going to have a ton of seeds. I'll probably be popping 20 to 30 at a time, and I will microgrow them, as much as I can. When I start seeing, different structures and things like that, getting an idea of how many phenotypes are going to be there. This is going to be the F1 generation. When I start seeing some things, what I'll probably do is, people think I'm crazy for doing this, but I can take like a 2 or 3 inch clone and actually get it to root.
Oh yeah.
So I'll pop them in half. Yeah, pop them in half. I'll make a clone out of them, and then I'll flour the bottom half of the plant, and that'll give me an idea of like, okay, so this one took on the Sunset, or this one took on the Nakatomi Plaza, or I got a really nice blend of both. And then I'll still have the genetic preserved so that I can still work with those, because I want to open up the genetic pool. So I got to take it past the F2 in order to do that. So I'll take it down.
I'm hoping, I was going to say, Bon, I hate to cut you off. We're getting down to our last few minutes. I do hope that you'll come back and let us be a part of some of that stuff, and then keep us updated on some of these tents here and what you got going on.
If you're around next Sunday, you can jump on and
or
Wednesday evening. That would be awesome. But we do our final shout outs. I know it's getting close to 2:00. If you want to start with that bonsai garden guy, let everybody know. I posted your web page or your YouTube on in chat. Where else can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram. The name's exactly the same. That's actually where I post a majority of my content, and it's not just cannabis content that I post. Cool. I have a lot of actual outdoor gardening tips for people who like to cultivate their own foods and stuff like that. But primarily it's going to be Instagram. YouTube, I've been a little bit slow on since we had the babies, a little bit harder to shoot content and stuff like that. But the shout outs I want to give, Artman, he was the one that actually kind of coaxed me over here to come check out the show, and I really enjoyed the vibe of everything. Shout out to Chad Westport as well. We chop it up nonstop, and he gives me a lot of good growing advice. So if you guys are looking for someone who's a seasoned veteran and maybe you're not hearing some of the answers that you want to hear, hit up Chad. Chad's more than happy to help people. It may take him a few days to get back to you, but he'll definitely get back to you.
Cheers to that.
And then Smart Poker, of course, I got to give you guys a shout out. You guys are the ones putting on the show. So, you know, we gotta make sure that everybody's included. I really appreciate you guys being able to include folks from your community and let them jump in and show what they've got going on. Maybe get some advice and possibly some help too. It's a wonderful thing.
Right on. We appreciate
Thank you. We appreciate you coming on, and hope to see you back real soon.
Thanks for the shout out.
Yes, and thanks for the shout outs.
Of course.
Next up, we can have how about XYZ? You want to go next, buddy?
Hello.
Yeah, there you are.
I'm cutting out.
We can hear you now.
Yeah, I'm kind of cutting out. My Wi-Fi is going to crap. Anyways, I'm XYZ Vector, crazy traveling grower. Thanks, Smart and Crispy, for having me on. Thanks for all the community for keeping positive thoughts out there, and grow on, growers love.
Thanks, buddy. We always appreciate it.
Yes, we do.
The American one can go next. It was nice to talk to you this week. Glad you got him and Seed Person.
Yeah, shout out to Seed Person 1. Shout out to Smart and Crispy. Shout out to everyone in chat. Shout out to the Secret Garden sent me some topicals, so that's cool. And shout out to everyone. I'm the American one. Most of you know where to find me. I've been going through some shit, but everything's gonna work out all right, and we'll catch you later. That's all. Peace, everyone.
Thanks, Tal.
Thank you so much.
Pulling double duty at work and shit, man, dealing with stuff it really takes a toll on someone. So it's nice when you get a chance to stop by. And I know all of our hearts are with you, buddy, on that. We've all been there, and we understand exactly where you're coming from, I think, and
this community rocks.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Seed Person, you rock, man. That's such a cool thing you did. Why don't you go next, buddy?
Thank you. No, it's just returning generosity to the community, I'm Seed Person 1 on Instagram, or seedperson1@gmail.com, and I will see everybody over at Cheap Home Grow tonight at 7:00.
Right on.
Yes, you will. That's awesome. Artman, you got a lot of shows coming up. You want to tell us about them real quick and give your final
sure. Artman 2Ns 420 _ at Instagram. I'll be on Caribou Heart TV Tuesday morning, this Tuesday at 8 Central, 9 Eastern, I suppose. And I'll be on Let's Be Buds next week, the 22nd. So and we'll have a pressing show after our show. I'll tell everybody on your show. So, but thanks for having me. Been a good show.
Awesome.
And my thoughts go out to Ice and I too.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I wanted to say, he had to leave, and our hearts are with him. His wife is not feeling well, so we're
pulling for you, buddy.
We're pulling for you, buddy. I posted his link in chat earlier. You can go check him out, and we're grateful for all of you hanging out with us today. And we'll see you Wednesday. Maybe Sunday you guys can come back. Maybe come back Wednesday, but we will definitely see you at the Cheap Home Grow love, everyone.